Travels of Marco Polo, Book 2, Chapter 22, The Way the Great Khan's Year is Divided. Upon the return of the Great Khan to his capital, he holds a grand court which lasts 3 days, in the course of which he gives feasts and otherwise entertains those by whom he is surrounded. The amusements of these 3 days are indeed remarkable. He then quits his palace and proceeds to the city which he has built, as I told you before, and which is called Shangtu, where he has the grand park and palace of Cain. To escape the heat, he spends his summer there, for the location is a cool one. Here he remains from May until the end of August, when he returns again to his capital and remains until February and the time of the grand feast of the New Year. The hunting expedition towards the sea takes place in March, April, and May. Thus is his year spent, 6 months at the capital, 3 months in hunting, and 3 months at the Cain Palace. In this manner he passes his time with the greatest enjoyment, not to speak of many little journeys in this or that direction at his pleasure. Chapter 23. Concerning the city of Khanbalik, its vast population and commerce. The multitude of inhabitants and the number of houses in the city of Khanbalik, as also in the 12 suburbs outside the city, corresponding to the 12 gates, is greater than the mind can comprehend. The suburbs are even more populous than the city, and it is there that the merchants and others whose business brings them to the capital stay. Wherever indeed His Majesty holds court, there these people flock from all quarters in pursuit of their several objects. In the suburbs there are also as handsome houses and stately buildings as in the city, with the exception only of the palace of the Great Khan. No corpse is suffered to be buried within the city, and those of the idolaters whose custom it is to burn their dead are carried to the usual spot beyond the suburbs. There likewise all public executions take place. Women who live by prostituting themselves for money dare not, unless secretly, exercise the profession in the city, but must confine themselves to the suburbs where, as has already been stated, there reside above 25,000. Nor is this number greater than necessary for the vast throngs of merchants and other strangers who are continually arriving and departing. To this city everything that is most rare and valuable in the world finds its way, and more especially does this apply to India, which furnishes precious stones, pearls, and various drugs and spices. From this province of Cathay itself, as well as from other provinces of the empire, whatever is of value is brought here to supply the demands of those multitudes who establish their residence in the vicinity of the court. The quantity of merchandise sold exceeds that of any other place, for no fewer than 1,000 carriages and pack horses loaded with raw silk come here daily, and an immense quantity of gold tissues and silks of various kinds is manufactured here. In the vicinity of the capital are many walled and other towns, whose inhabitants live chiefly by the court, selling their articles they produce in return for whatever they need. Chapter 24 of the paper money issued by the Great Khan. In this city of Khanbalik is the mint of the Great Khan, who may truly be said to possess the secret of the alchemist, since he has the art of making money. He causes the bark to be stripped from mulberry trees, the leaves of which are used for feeding silkworms, and takes from it that thin layer that lies between the coarser bark and the wood of the tree. This being steeped, and afterwards pounded into a mortar until reduced to a pulp, is made into paper resembling that which is manufactured from cotton, but quite black. When ready for use, he has it cut to pieces of different sizes, nearly square, but somewhat longer than they are wide. Of these, the smallest pass for a half tournesol, the next size for a Venetian silver groat, others of 2, 5, and 10 groat, others for 1, 2, 3, and as much as 10 bezants of gold. The coinage of this paper money is authorized with as much form and ceremony as if it were actually pure gold or silver. To each note, a number of officers, specially appointed, not only subscribe their names but also affix their seals. When this has been done by all of them, the principal officer, having dipped into vermilion the royal seal committed to his custody, stamps the piece of paper so that the form of the seal, tinged with the vermilion, is impressed upon it. In this way it receives full authority as current money, and the act of counterfeiting it is punished as a capital offense. When thus coined in large quantities, the paper currency is circulated in every part of the Great Khan's dominions, nor dares any person, at the peril of his life, refuse to accept it. All his subjects receive it without hesitation, because, wherever their business may call them, they can dispose of it in the purchase of any merchandise they may require, such as pearls, jewels, gold, or silver. With it, in short, every article may be procured. Several times in the course of the year, large caravans of merchants arrive with such articles as have just been mentioned, together with gold tissues, which they lay before the Great Khan. He thereupon calls together 12 experienced and skillful persons, who examine the articles with great care and fix their value. Upon the sum at which they have been thus conscientiously appraised, he allows a reasonable profit, and immediately pays for them with this paper. To this the owners can have no objection, because, as has been observed, they can use it for their own purchases, and even though they may have come from a country where this kind of money is not current, they can invest it in any merchandise suited to their own markets. When any persons have paper money which has become worn out, they carry it to the mint, where, upon the payment of only 3%, they receive fresh notes in exchange. Should anyone need gold or silver for the purpose of manufacturing drinking cups, girdles, or other articles made from these metals, they also apply to the mint, and from their paper obtain the bullion they require. All His Majesty's armies are paid with this currency, which is to them as good as if it were gold or silver. Upon these grounds it may certainly be affirmed that the Great Khan has a greater command of treasure than any other sovereign in the universe.